So I'm commenting on the way Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago property was searched some days ago by the FBI, and the news that his former chief financial officer, Anil Weisselberg, has just pleaded guilty to hiding more than $1.7 million in income tax evasion for the Trump organization. So he's going to get some jail time, probably not very few months. Um, so yeah. Anyway, so he'll be going to Rikers Island. I would dearly love to see Trump as a cellmate for much longer. But if Weisselberg is guilty, then Trump must be guilty because this is Trump's finances. Trump must have known about this, must have signed off on all this. Anyway, he's not actually been accused of any wrongdoing. So yeah, the Trump organization managed to avoid paying taxes on corporate benefits such as rent for various buildings, purchasing extremely expensive cars, paying school fees, and school fees are not tax deductible. Um, anyway, so let me see. So what else about Trump? Yeah. So some days ago, the FBI that they carried out this search warrant in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. So Trump is incandescent with rage about that. The Trump mob, they're doing their nut over this one. They are throwing tantrums. They're just in hysterics that the FBI should carry out its illegal duty. The FBI, how many buildings do they search every year? Would it be in the tens of thousands? How many people do they arrest? And they're right to do so in many cases. Sometimes no further action is taken, but it was still right to do so if there was probable cause, if something was very suspicious, and they were executing a warrant issued by a judge. And judges only issue these if there is a good reason to do that. They don't search these things randomly. Remember, this is the same Trump who say, yeah, beat the shit out of them at rallies. Seriously, I'll pay the legal fees. Used to say, someone with a total disregard for criminal law is now asserting his rights. His rights count. Other people's rights don't count. Remember, he exhorted the police, don't be too nice when you arrest people. So he was clearly encouraging police brutality. And when you put them into the car handcuffed, and sometimes you guard their head to make sure they don't hit their head going in. No, 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 don't do that. So, and applauding casual police brutality when a peaceful protester, an old man, was knocked down by the police doing nothing wrong, just hit him to the floor, and on and on and on. And that kind of assault, crimes if carried by the police, he's all for if they think they're his opponents are the victims of this. I'm not suggesting all police in the United States are brutal at all, far from it, but a few are. Um, yeah, and Alan Weisel worked for Trump for half a century, so he's got to know about a lot about the dirty laundry. Anyway, why on earth should the FBI not carry out this search? Of course, they are legally obliged to do so. And I don't know if there were any particular complaints about the way that they executed this warrant. But anyway, they took away several documents. The whole thing goes back to when Trump left office. He took various items with him, which were top secret, and he's not allowed to, has to deposit in various places documents. But there's a process by which that is done, the sign that this is declassified, which he never ever did, saying everybody takes work home. Well, actually, it's not true. Not everybody takes work home. If you work in various intelligence agencies, no, you're absolutely not allowed to take work home. Can't take your mobile phone into various places, and so on. So no, that is a lie yet again. Anyway, so Trump, it's delightful to see his discomfiture. I'd really like to see his collar felt. Trump is obviously a prolific criminal. Go back to that Trump university, which wasn't a university at all, and that is the most flagrant example. Went on for several years, defrauded thousands of students of millions of dollars, and he's never ever even been questioned about it. It is staggering that he can commit so many crimes blatantly, and law enforcement takes no action whatsoever. Wow. Whereas a really minor person can be very severely punished. Ted Cruz, one of Trump's claque. Remember when he was Attorney General in Texas and a man was sentenced to 14 years for stealing a stapler? Got that? 14 years. And there was an appeal saying the man should serve maximum of 2 years for this. Ted Cruz, no, 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 argued all the Supreme Court. He must serve 14 years. I mean, how many years per dollar worth of property stolen was he going to serve? And yet, Cruz will go into bat for Donald Trump, a prolific criminal, who, despite defrauding people of many millions of dollars, has never served a day. It's just mind blowing the rank injustice, the disgusting level of hypocrisy here. So yeah, Trump's obviously still trying to deny that he lost the election. In which case, why aren't you president? Why did you leave the White House? Why didn't you give orders to the military? If you are the president, give orders to the military because they'll obey you. Oh no, because you did lose the election. So the reality-based community are the Democrats and opponents of Trump. And I suppose there are a few brave Republicans, Liz Cheney being one, who's just lost that primary, will no longer be representing Wyoming. Anyway, and Trump has so often refused to be interviewed by the FBI, or because he's not going to be interviewed under oath because he would perjure himself immediately. So he could well be indicted. I think it's probable he is. Will he be convicted? He probably will be. And knowing the United States, he'll get some sort of slap on the wrist sentence. People like Bill Maher are saying the FBI shouldn't go for this, especially the midterms are quite close. Remember, the first Tuesday in November, and this is queering the picture of the Democrats. This will actually mobilize the Republican Party, those who want to speak up for Trump. Now, that may well be right. Actually, it might redound to the Republican advantage. But nevertheless, you have to do these things without fear, without favor. Fiat justitia ruat caelum. But I don't think Trump's going to be president again. I give him about a 30% chance of being president again. He probably won't be the Republican candidate. The fever is broken to some extent. Yes, he's still popular in the Republican Party, but he doesn't have the same hold over them that he used to do. So, will he be alive in the next presidential election? Probably. Give it a 90% chance. Will he seek the Republican nomination? I give it like as high as an 80% chance. Would he actually get it if he seeks it? Again, I think that's actually quite high. It's 60%, but might be falling. I think the other really likely contender is Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, who's young but not too young, doesn't appear to have any bodies buried anywhere, who's actually at least intelligent, articulate, a highly educated lawyer, and so on. And somehow he can appeal to the Trump mob, but yet some more moderates as well, being a fairly successful governor of a key swing state, which Trump won by a wafer thin margin. So if the candidates from Florida, then Floridians even more likely to vote Republican, which is so vital. So yeah, I don't think he's actually going to go for it. And why shouldn't the FBI enforce the law against him? Nobody's above the law, and that includes Donald Trump. And some people are saying, "But what about Hillary Clinton? She did this and she did that." And I don't remember the particulars of Hillary Clinton. That's several years ago. But I wouldn't be opposed. I mean, I'd have no problem with them searching her house, questioning her being indicted. Fine. I mean, they could both go to jail. Wouldn't bother me. There's no reason why Trump should be let off the hook if just because the FBI didn't behave properly towards Hillary. Indeed, if they got it wrong about Hillary. Remember how they closed the investigation, reopened it, and then closed it again at a critical stage in the election, where they're meant to not time these things to affect the election. Because unless you do it many months before an election, it could arguably tip it either way. All right, thank you for watching. So please subscribe to me on Patreon, get behind the paywall, and donate to me on PayPal, callahan79@gmail.com. And yeah, book online lessons with me. What else? Yeah, donating on PayPal. Thank you so much. Goodbye.